Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. Stephen Clark Bradley, and this is what I think. In the next two series I'm going to be talking about, first of all, starting today, talking about what will a Democrat victory in the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the presidency mean for the United States of America. And what dire consequences will follow that, politically, socially, economically, and in every way. How will it affect us, and will it destroy us? Which, of course, I certainly believe it will. I actually believe that this election will be the most consequential, significant, and determinative election in my lifetime, I'm sure in your lifetime, and probably in the history of the Republic. Because today, we're not so much battling with two different candidates or two different parties as much as we are battling between two different philosophies. Socialism, which demands control and demands control of your funds, of your life, of your everything, and the freedom that our U.S. Constitution affords us from the rights that we have, the divine rights that came from God. The U.S. Constitution does not give us any rights, okay? It does not. The U.S. Constitution protects our rights that were given to us as creatures of God, all created by our Creator, right? And so this is what we're facing today in this election. And so I could put it this way, that this election will determine whether America remains the great America that we are today, and hopefully destined to get greater still, and to become a more perfect union, or the destiny that we will have if the Democrats win, that will cause us to be the late great America. Because I can truly say that this election is going to determine whether America continues on as America, or if we will end our existence as a free nation. And I can say if a socialist republic is established here through the Democrat-Socialist Party winning this election, it will be short-lived. Because with all the money that they want to spend, it will ruin us. It will take us into the pit of disaster, the slough of despondency, and we won't have the money, and we'll be the northern Venezuela, really. Much worse, because we're a bigger country, and we will fall flat on our faces. This is what we're facing in this election. I hope everybody realizes that. Those of you who are tempted to try out socialism, you probably also tried out Obama. I have a friend, he tried out Obama, he said, and he wanted to kick himself every day because he lost everything as a result of Obama's administration and the 8 years that they won. And in 2012, he tried his best to get rid of him, but it couldn't. And that's what will happen if the socialists come. They will establish their laws very quickly if they win both houses of Congress and the presidency. And then they will also vote to increase the number of justices on the Supreme Court so that they can get rulings in their favor in everything they want. And they will pass abundant numbers of laws that are based on socialist philosophy, because they know that if in the midterms the president usually loses, and it loses his dominance in the Congress, and they'll have to have, so many laws passed already by the midterm elections that they can never be defeated or have them withdrawn. Look at Obamacare. Obamacare is one set of laws only for medical, and yet even Trump has been unable to completely get rid of it, because these laws are set in stone in a fashion that makes it almost impossible for them to be taken away. And once we have all these laws from a socialist, Democrat-Socialist government that has a majority in the House of Representatives, a majority in the Senate, and and the presidency, and then a total majority in the Supreme Court from adding justices, which the Constitution does not forbid. It can be done. Then it will be very impossible to rid ourselves of socialism until socialism rids itself of us. That's what will come. So let's take a look. You know, if you think about it, July 4th, 1776 was the establishment of our independence. That's when we determined that we wanted to become an independent nation of 13 nations formed into one. And we fought. It wasn't even sure that we would remain one nation of 13 colonies after it was all over. But that was not the establishment of the United States of America. That was the establishment of the United Colonies fighting for independence against Great Britain that was abusing us. So that's we celebrate that as the beginning of our nation, but it's actually the beginning of our independent nature, our independent state. Okay, when we were not controlled by another nation. But if you want to find out what was the beginning of the United States of America, under which we established a constitution, that was on June 21st, 1788, when finally New Hampshire became the majority, the last state to ratify, the seventh state to ratify the Constitution, giving us a majority of states, and the Constitution became law. All right, so the real date that we're looking at is 1788. We have been a constitutional republic since June 21st, 1788. And that Constitution gave us the official structure of our government, of how we would conduct ourselves in our character, how we would govern, how the people could govern and control and vote and remove people from office, about our conduct with the government, in society, in business. It ruled, the Constitution gave us our structure for how we would grow as a nation, how states could be, territories could become states. All these things came, and the Constitution formed the very existence of our republic. And that's what we're based on today. But it is very clear that the Constitution cannot exist, cannot function as it is, as a socialist government. It cannot. The only way that it will have to be done is that the Constitution will have to remain there, because they know that they cannot politically get rid of it physically, but they'll get rid of it in purpose. It will become a relic. It will become just a parchment under a piece of thick glass in the Library of Congress that people can go and see. Say, oh, wasn't that a nice time in America? Yeah, it was. And it will be destined that way as a relic if these people come to office. But it was the thing that guaranteed the people's rights. Didn't give us rights. It guaranteed our rights. It determined our fates. Who you want to be. It gave you the right to choose for yourself who you want to be. It gave you the right to say, this is my destiny. This is who I am. This is who I choose to be. It gave you the right to plan out your future. What kind of future do you want? What kind of future do you want for your family? It gave you the ability to figure out what your destiny is. Were you destined to be a teacher? Were you destined to be in the military? That was your choice under the Constitution. It gave you the right to achieve your will, not the government's will of who you should be. You had to answer to no one. All right? You had the right to succeed, and you had the right to fail. Risk. Life is about risk. The U.S. Constitution has given us the right to take risk, either to succeed or to fail. Our own president, there's been times in his own destiny, in his own history, when he's succeeded greatly, when he almost filed bankruptcy, when he succeeded again, because he never gave up. All that was based on the Constitution, and we are the same. I chose to be an international educator. I chose to get my doctorate. I choose now to stand up for my government. Nobody can stop me. Not yet. But if the Democrats win, that day, that voice will be gone. We have the right under our Constitution to choose to do what we resolve to do, not what Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi. I mean, even now, she can choose to go break the law and do her hair if she wants to. We can make those choices. Nobody can tell us what we have to eat, how we have to dress, what kind of car we have to have, where we can live, where we cannot live. That's our choice. All right? That is our choice. We have freedom of speech. These are not freedoms that were given to us by the Constitution. These are freedoms that were given to us by God. Nobody gave them to us. Nobody can take them away. But this election is going to be so consequential. All these things are really in flux now. All these things are hanging in limbo until November 4th. And hopefully we can say, praise God, that we won. Donald Trump is reelected president. But there's nothing sure about that. So when we're looking at this, these are some of the things that will be destroyed if the Democrats win. One, a socialist economy will raise our taxes. We already know by $4 trillion. They're already saying that's nothing. The total bill of just the Green New Deal is $90 trillion. I mean, that's impossible. It can't be done. It's going to cause businesses to leave. They're going to go back overseas. We're going to fail as a nation. And we're going to be spending money that is worthless, that won't be worth the price of the paper that it's printed on. This is going to happen. And also, our property will begin to be seized. Now, many of you may say, that's far-fetched. They can't take our private property. It belongs to us. The whole premise behind socialism is nothing belongs to anybody. Everything belongs to the state, because the state is everybody. So you have nothing. You say, well, that can't be done. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and everyone in the Democrat-Socialist Party will participate in this. It's already being done. You haven't seen where Black Lives Matter terrorists, domestic terrorists have been going to people's houses and say, get out of that house. That's not your house. That's my house. Those are reparations. They went into the Gold Coast of Chicago and broke into the most lucrative stores and stole jewelry and everything and said, these are reparations. Why? Because they're poor. So nothing will belong to you. Your house is up for grabs. And your right to self-defense will be gone. Think about the McCluskeys in St. Louis. There's a couple who are wealthy, both lawyers. A whole mob of Black Lives Matter thugs come to their house saying they're going to rape her, saying they're going to kill them, and they're going to be sitting in his living room and take their bedroom. And they come out with their legal guns that we have a right to have, defend their home, and the St. Louis prosecutor charged them, and no one of the thugs of the Black Lives Matter were charged with anything. Why? Because they're poor. And they have a right to that, which they cannot have, which the rich can have. That's already happening. This is just a precursor of what will happen after November 3rd if the Democrats win this election. Your rights will disappear. Your right of self-defense, your right to private property will be gone. Also, your religious rights will be gone. They'll take your money, our taxes, and they'll use it to abort babies, to kill babies, and to, if you're against gay marriage, you won't have a right to say no if they ask you to do a wedding or to make a cake. That's already happening too. So all these things will be destroyed as a result of what's going to be coming our way if the Democrats win. I have so much more to say in the next videos I'll be making, but I wanted to go through this and give you an idea of what we're up against. You have got to resolve to save our republic. If you love America, if you love freedom, it doesn't matter what you think of Donald Trump's personality. He's been a great president. He's stand up for you, and we need to stand up for ourselves. It's now or never. I hope you'll make a decision to make it now and vote to save the republic. I'll see you soon.